The Titans have slowly started to reform, and they are beginning to find their old and lost members to make one of the best teams around. But what about Malcolm and Karen from Titans Hunt? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand them. Then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. As Malcolm and Karen Duncan sit in the offices of Meta Solutions, Malcolm says that there is nothing to worry about here. These guys specialize in evaluating metahuman powers. Karen, Malcolm's wife, recently discovered that she too has powers and isn't sure how to handle them. Malcolm goes on stating that the people here can help people live with their strange gifts. For the ones who can't cope with them, they have ways of removing those powers. Karen says that she likes the way their lives are now. She doesn't want anything to come in and ruin it all. And Malcolm tells her that he doesn't remember much of his superhero lifestyle, but one thing that he does know is that it was scary and dangerous. That is why he's trying to find a way to say this, but he agreed to the cure. His powers are gone. Karen shouts, asking, "What? And you didn't even tell me?" Malcolm tells her that he didn't want her to think of him as a coward. He just didn't want the horrors that came with it to screw up the wonders that they have now. He goes on stating that the people here are experts. They can help you control the powers or even cure them, but no matter what, he'll stand with her 100%. But before Malcolm can continue, a man introducing himself as Peter Simon welcomes the Duncans and says that he's the head of evaluation here. Please allow him to show them around. As Karen and Peter walk around the facility, Peter explains that their facilities are cutting edge, and with the help of the generous benefactors, they can offer newly found metahuman solutions. These gifts are not a bad thing, but they're not necessarily always a good thing either. Karen says that Malcolm had his gifts removed, and Peter tells her that he was very brave to do so, very brave to admit that he is suffering. As the two reach Peter's desk, Peter asks Karen to tell him about her gifts, and Karen says that they just came out of nowhere. There's like a little energy inside of her buzzing around. It feels so powerful, and she can move really fast, and if she focuses that energy, she can create blasts out of her hands. It's exhilarating. But it can also be scary trying to control it. Peter says that they can teach her to control them. She doesn't have to remove those powers. Peter then leads Karen to another room, asking her if they should just start with the evaluation and measure the parameters. With these biometric exosuits, they can measure and calibrate individuals' meta range. Karen says that she's not too sure what about Malcolm, and Peter tells her that it'll be fine. He's in the waiting room enjoying the latest glossy magazine. The reception staff makes excellent coffee. Over in the waiting room, Malcolm sits reading and drinking coffee when he notices a large man flirting with the receptionist. But the large man isn't just anyone, it's Mammoth. And Malcolm has faced him once before, all the way back in Titans Hunt. Malcolm gets up running out of the building in terror, asking, "What are you doing here? Standing there like you belong here? Oh God, what have I done?" Meanwhile, over at the Titans Tower, Garth and Lilith train when suddenly Lilith gets a powerful psionic flash. Garth quickly catches her before she can fall, and he asks what's wrong. Lilith tells him that it's Malcolm Duncan. He's here in New York and he's in real trouble. He's terrified. Within moments, Dick and the rest of the Titans head down towards Manhattan, and they ask Malcolm what's going on. And in a panic, Malcolm runs up to Dick telling him, "It's Meta Solutions! Karen's in there and I left her, and Mammoth is in there! The monster is in there!" Donna says that the Justice League just took down Mammoth and his cronies a few weeks back. Their name was the Fearsome Five. Roy then says that the file is closed, and Dick leads everyone aside, telling them, so it's not so closed after all. As the team runs inside, they look around asking what kind of a place is this, and suddenly Karen shoots by shouting to everyone, "Hey, you're just in time! Look, isn't this great?" as she shows off her new abilities. With everyone prepared to fight, Dick then asks Karen, "What are you doing with the Fearsome Five?" And Karen says that he's got the wrong idea. Mr. Simon works here, and these are his associates. Look at how she can fly now! Wait, what happened to your face? Simon steps forward, stating that he can explain all of this. There's no need for a conflict. Besides, the Titans would certainly wipe the floor with them anyway. He then points back to the others, saying that, like Mr. Duncan, his associates have given up their metahuman abilities. There's nothing fearsome about them anymore. Garth motions to Mammoth, saying that the last time that they met, things didn't go so well. Karen turns back, asking if he's the one who hurt Malcolm, and Mammoth bitterly regrets the pain that he caused Malcolm. He can assure them that he is a changed man. Simon then says to prove it, allow Omen here to read his mind to prove that they are telling the truth. Lilith does a quick scan and says actually she's getting a clean reading. He is telling the truth. Simon goes on stating that they've all put their gifts to ill use, and they've seen the error of their ways, and Meta Solutions has offered them a chance of redemption. The individuals here, known as Shimmer, Mammoth, and Jinx, have all taken the cure. As for myself and Gizmo, we now use our gifts for a positive application. Karen storms out, shouting that she will have no part of anything involving these people. Simon tells her to wait, but Dick stops him, telling him that's enough. She wants to leave, so we're gonna take her out of here. And Garth asks, without punching anyone? That's disappointing. Simon tells Karen that he urges her to keep her upcoming appointment tomorrow. Meta can't help her. Later over in the Titans Tower, Malcolm tells Karen that if he had known, and Karen stops him, telling him that she doesn't know who to be more annoyed with, herself, that Simon guy, or you people, pointing at Roy. Roy says, "Come on!" And Karen stands up shouting, "That was an amazing experience. For the first time with that suit, I felt like I could control my powers. I could fly, I could move, I could channel that sting. And they turned out to be supervillains?" Lilith says that they were supervillains. Simon's explanation was very credible. But as Malcolm and Karen discuss what's going to happen next, Dick tells everyone that they should go into the next room and talk about this. As everyone sits down, Wally asks Lilith what's her read on everything, and she tells them that Simon seems truthful. There's no hint of deception or friction, and then again, Simon is a high-grade psychic, more powerful than her perhaps. Roy tells everyone that Lilith is right. People can't change. They claw themselves out of bad places and they set themselves right again. Hell, he should know. Back with his addiction, he sunk really low, and he works real hard not to slip like that again. He's all for giving people a second chance, but no one reforms that fast. For him, it took years of work, and just weeks ago, the Fearsome Five was going toe-to-toe with the Justice League. There's no way that they could have turned into good guys that quick. Garth slams his fist on the table, stating that he's convinced. It's time to go back and punch them. And Dick shouts, "Garth!" Wally says, how about they do a little fact-checking before Karen decides to go back. He runs over to Dick, throwing his arm around him, and he asks, "How would you feel about being the brave and the bold?" As the night begins to set in, Dick and Wally head back over to the Meta Solutions building, and Wally gets to work running in and disabling the security systems. Dick makes his way in, and Wally runs back asking, "What kept you?" As the two make their way to the control room, Dick tries to report back, but Donna tells him that the comms are breaking up. Dick tells Wally that it's probably because of the thickness of the walls. At least they should try to see what they can find. The giant computer lights up, and as Dick begins to read it, Wally says that some of the client lists that they have here. He then starts to read quickly through them and notices the name Tyler Went. Dick asks who that is, and Wally tells him that he was a guy that him, Roy, and Donna took down a few days ago. The police said that he had no priors in his past, and now suddenly he has these crazy powers. How could he have gotten them? So Dick brings up the obvious question. Meta gave him powers? And Wally tells him that it's possible. If Meta can take away powers, maybe they can deal them too. Back at the Titans Tower, everyone sits down waiting for a response from Dick and Wally, and Lilith says that she's not sensing any disturbances, but it is possible that Simon is blocking them if there is trouble. Roy runs out to the living room and he tells Malcolm and Karen that they'll be back. It's probably nothing, but they're gonna go check up on their friends. Just hang back until they return. As Roy leaves, Karen says that she doesn't like this, and Malcolm tells her that Roy seemed very confident. They are Titans after all. He'll just make them some coffee. And as Malcolm leaves, Karen looks over at her biosuit. Meanwhile, over at the Meta facility, Dick and Wally continue their investigation as they examine the biosuits at the building. Dick mentions that these suits are some pretty high-tech stuff, like Star Lab level stuff. And a voice then asks as they found what they're looking for, and as they turn to see who it is, Mammoth charges at them, telling them, "I would say you have." Mammoth quickly knocks Wally into the side, and Dick jumps into attack, and Mammoth tells him, "We lied. I still have my powers." Mammoth swings back, catching him, and tells him, "And then some. You should try them out for yourself." Back at the tower, Malcolm returns with the coffee and sees the suit is gone from the couch and Karen's missing. Over at another room in the Meta facility, Simon speaks with a group of hooded men, telling them that they will be delighted with their latest acquisitions. After studying Karen Duncan, they have found her to be the source of Alpha-class Meta powers. She could change everything. As for the Titans, they'll be dead in a few minutes. A short while later, Simon looks at the captured Dick and Wally, telling them that their comrades will be here soon, and when they arrive, they will be in for one hell of a... And that's when Roy and the others jump in, shouting, "Surprise!" As a blunt arrow hits Gizmo, Simon shouts, asking, "How did you get here? I was monitoring the whole building. I would have seen you." Lilith jumps at Simon, telling him that he's not the only one who can generate a psionic cloaking field. While Lilith battles with Simon, Garth takes on Mammoth as Roy and Donna try to free Dick and Wally. As Donna turns the handle, it doesn't move, and Jinx tells them that it's just how luck goes sometimes, which for them is bad luck. Roy pulls an arrow out of his quiver, putting it into his bow, but the string breaks, and he shouts, "How's a new string?" Donna throws her shield and mistakenly ends up throwing it into Roy's back. But before she can finish what she's saying, Shimmer separated the matter in the ground, causing Donna to fall through it, stating, "Oh, that was embarrassing. Bet you just want the ground to open up and swallow you, huh?" As the fighting between everyone goes on, the Fearsome Five begin to overpower the Titans. With everyone down, Simon says that they are done stripping everyone's powers. They will reduce them to dust so that no one will even know that the Titans were here. Karen's voice shouts that there's going to be one problem with that. She will know. Now who's first? Simon laughs, stating that she gets full marks for bravado, but they have easily taken down the Titans, so what can an amateur do to them? Lilith tries to tell Karen not to do this, but Karen grits her teeth, telling her, "I got this." All at once, the Fearsome Five try to grab and capture Karen, but she just buzzes around avoiding everyone. She then shoots by blasting Mammoth, telling him, "That's for my husband." Jinx charges a blast, but as she fires, Karen disappears, and she shouts, asking, where did she go? It's not possible for her to escape. And a second later, a miniature Karen reappears before Jinx, telling her anything is possible, and she fires a blast into her face. Karen then begins to fly around blasting at everyone until Simon finally catches her in a psionic hold. He tells her that despite her size, he will pin her down, and because of her ruining their enterprise, something must be salvaged. As the hold grows stronger, he tells her that it is done. It is now his. A moment later, the hold is broken as Lilith punches Simon, telling him that sometimes it's not all about psionics. Lilith runs over to check on Karen, and Donna bursts out of the ground shouting, "Let's do—" Oh, it's over. Donna asks what happened, and Lilith says that Karen happened, but they have to help her. Simon did something here. A few moments later, Malcolm runs in, partly wearing some of Dick Grayson's costume, shouting, "I'm here for you, Bumblebee!" Oh. He looks around asking if anyone could explain what happened, and Donna tells him that his wife just single-handedly took down the Fearsome Five all by herself. Malcolm runs over to Karen asking if she's alright, and she says that she's fine. But have they met? Malcolm says that it has to be the mask, and Karen's smiling, saying that she's not trying to be rude, but she doesn't remember him at all. The following morning at the Titan's Tower, Roy asks how she is, and Lilith says that physically she's fine, but Simon took something from her. The engram that he removed from her ripped a chunk of her identity away. She doesn't remember Malcolm or that she even had a baby. Wherever Simon sent the engram, he must have done it telepathically. Roy says that it must have had some value to whoever the freaking Five were working for. Lilith tells him yes, whoever is right. But Dick and Wally are looking into it now. Elsewhere in the tower, Wally asks Dick if he found anything in the files that they've been scanning. He tells him, yeah, a huge client list, and that the meta business is worth millions. But after following the money, he at least knows who was backing them. Hive. Wally says, of course it was Hive. They have the tech and the infrastructure to move the extracted powers onto the black market. Dick takes a bite of his food, saying that it seems like they're up to their old tricks again. It's been so long that he'd almost forgotten the history that the Titans have with Hive. However, outside watching the tower, it's Deathstroke. Now this leads into the next story arc, which is the Lazarus Contract, and I can't wait to read that one and then cover it for you guys right here. So subscribe to the channel to see the Titans meet the Teen Titans fighting against Deathstroke in the Lazarus Contract. And you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and we can chat about the story as it's happening. I'll see you next time right here.